Oopsies! It's the please don't cancel me apology season time. Let's have a look at the nominations, shall we? Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. I want you to bear in mind throughout the course of this video that when I go through the tweets of these people and what they say, these people that represent the mainstream comic book industry, that it is apparently Comicsgate that is the hate group. Okay? Good. Glad we got that sorted out. So let's have a look at our friend Tom King, possibly the most cowardly man in comics at the moment. And he recently attacked another one of his professional colleagues, Jay Lee. Why? Because Jay Lee has drawn the cover for Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet. Something, by the way, which has been known for months and months and months. But with Diamond recently been taken down a peg by the mainstream comic book industry, they're feeling a little bit flush and a little bit excited, and it's cancellation season, folks! Ooh, how exciting! And by cancellation season, I mean they want to try and dictate who does business with who. That doesn't sound very particularly nice, does it? I mean, we should be able to do business with who we want to. But no, they are trying to stop people from doing business with Comicsgate because they're a hate group. Comicsgate, which is made up of people from all races, genders, sexualities, creeds, etc. But they're, of course, the hate group. And so, even though they knew for months that Jay was doing the cover, Tom took to Twitter to very publicly denounce him and say that he doesn't recognize his cover on his upcoming shitty-ass Watchmen miniseries. And it will be shitty-ass because Tom King's writing it. So Rorschach is just going to be full of women issues and a cuck and a crybaby and a wimp. Because that's all Tom King knows how to write nowadays. He didn't converse with Jay Lee at all. Jay Lee, who doesn't spend his time on social media, because thankfully he's got better things to do with it. And unfortunately for Jay as well, and I don't want to dwell too much into this because I don't want to try and use it as an excuse, but who didn't know what was going on because his family pet had passed away. And they were just trying to spread its ashes on a beach and reminisce, him and his partner, about the lovely times that they had with his pet. Meanwhile, Tom King was on Twitter screaming and shouting about him, trying to cancel him. So when Tom eventually got into contact with him 6 hours later, Tom explained the situation to him because Jay had been receiving phone calls all day from customers, from sponsors, from concerned friends about his association. And he wasn't happy. And he made a very brief post about it and said, no, we're not good. And he was referencing that to Tom King, who said, I've spoken to Jay. He doesn't know what Comicsgate is. It's all good, innit? And Jay Lee was like, no, this is not all good. So Tom, after a couple of days of reflection, took to Twitter to post this. As I have done privately, I'd like to publicly apologise to Jay Lee for my actions a few days ago. Well, he never said he'd apologise to Jay privately. He just said that he'd spoken to Jay and that Jay had told him that he didn't know what Comicsgate was. He isn't part of any hate group, because Comicsgate's not a hate group, but, you know, these people have to brand it that way because they're petrified of crowdfunded comics taking away their business because they can't write anything decent. It's just a lot of shite at the moment. Bar a few people who are doing some decent stuff. I should have talked with Jay before I sent a tweet about him that put his career at risk. So Tom King admits that what he did on Twitter was so irresponsible that he put a fellow professional colleague's career at risk. But remember, folks, it's Comicsgate that's the hate group. He didn't converse with him privately. Not that he had any right to do so anyway. Jay has every right to do business with whom he sees fit. But the fact that he recognises that just shows what a piece of shite he was and how disgusting the mainstream industry truly is. I made a critical mistake and I am profoundly sorry. I will do what I can to repair that with Jay, and I will do better in the future. How many times do we hear this? I will do better. The problem is you've already branded him and you've already associated him. You've already stigmatized him. I'm not going to offer explanations because they sound like excuses, because they are excuses. There was no reason why you couldn't have had a private discussion. You took to Twitter to cancel him because you're part of this nasty, disgusting mainstream comic cancellation crew that so toxified the industry that they've literally turned on their customers, as well as quite happily stabbing their own in the back in an effort to make some people, the Whisper Network, give you a pat on the head and little doggy treat. Until it's your time. And I'm not asking for forgiveness or understanding. That's for Jay to give and no one else. I'm just saying I see what I did and I'm going to try and make up for it. Thank you. I have kept up the tweets up to this point in order to show that I was not hiding my actions. I will now take them down. By the way, this is coming from a man who, after he spoke to Jay, and Jay would have informed him that he's actually just been trying to spread the ashes of his deceased family pet, Tom then took to social media to post a picture of Tom's dog. And then post another tweet saying, "Taking my dog out for a walk." Clearly antagonizing Jay, saying, "Hey, look whose family pet's alive and look what I can do with it." But remember, folks, it's Comicsgate. That's the hate group. Enough of disgusting, disgraceful Tom. Let's go on to Dynamite Comics, shall we? Dynamite Comics, who have been doing business with people from Comicsgate for a long time. Well over a year. They've done multiple covers with people like Ethan Van Sciver, with the beautiful, lovely Dan Frager. Love you. As Titty. And other such creators. But when Cecil was given a cover to do, all hell broke loose. Cecil, who had got his comic at the time, cash grab, up to $176,000. Smashing a lot of the industry pros with his bawdy comedy. And they couldn't handle it. It drove them loco, SA. And so they went for Diamond and they went for Nick. And Nick, surprisingly to everyone, bent the knee. Bent the knee. He pulled the campaign with Cecil. In actuality, he pulled a lot of campaigns because a lot of refunds were getting actioned at the same time too, because all of Comicsgate pulled their support for Diamond because of his actions. And then he ended some of the other campaigns and put some of the other campaigns back up. But then, after he had done that, it wasn't enough. Because it's never enough to satisfy the hate group. To satisfy the hate mob. They always want more. And they won't stop. And so even though he did this, they still came for him. Well, it's too late. You're still doing business with them. You still did business with them. You still took money from the transactions because of them. Because this is what happens when you've been in business with people for a long time. So Diamond then come out with another statement. And honest to God, I don't even know if this is parody. I don't know if this is satirical parody. I don't know what it is. Because this is such a laughable attempt to appease that I kind of think he's taking the piss. But it reads, Dynamite Entertainment is a partner in the fight for equality and inclusion. Well, Nick, you're the person that hires people, not us. You're the person who hires people. So if there's a lack of equality and inclusion in Dynamite Entertainment, it's because of you. Not your customers. There's this whole weird ass thing recently when we had the whole situation, you know, with the riots and whatever, where companies were coming out saying, we're sick of this. We're going to make sure that things are included and equal nowadays, as if it's the customer's fault. It's not the customer's fault. It's your fault. You're the people who do the hiring. You're the people that bring people in. So don't shout at anyone else. That's on you. Our company was founded on these core values more than 15 years ago. They are essential to the creative process. Well, you make sexy covers of sexy women. That's what you do. Don't get above your station. Don't try and think that you're creating the Sistine Chapel. You're not. You're getting some very talented people to draw some very cool, sexy covers of Red Sonja, Vampirella, etc. And they're awesome. You got Art Germ doing stuff. You know, it's great stuff. Not belittling at all. I think it's great. I think it's fine. It serves a purpose. It appeals to an audience that we are passionate about. Intolerance has no place in our company or our industry. By intolerance, do you mean treating people equally? Because isn't that what we're meant to be doing? If you want a society where everybody is treated equally, then everybody, regardless of their sex, gender, ethnicity, whatever you want to put in there, would come under that bracket, which means nobody is exempt from criticism. So if you are putting out shitty work, you can get called out on your shitty work. You can't hide behind your insert victimhood here as an excuse. But when the industry hires based off insert victimhood here, then it's their fault. The meritocracy is fair. The meritocracy does not discriminate. Many of you appear to have forgotten that. The impulse behind this brief association, it wasn't brief and it wasn't impulsive. You'd known Ethan for 10 odd years, I believe, was that of helping a friend of many decades and his family, and not how that association could potentially affect our valued colleagues, partners, and friends. Throwing Ethan under the bus in an attempt to appease people who don't buy your stuff, who don't care about your stuff, and who won't do business with you. They weren't ever going to. That association is behind us, and this time has strengthened our resolve to continue working with the most diverse talent in creating the best possible comics. That is a joke. Surely that is a joke. Diversity equals best comics. No, diversity doesn't. Talent! Talent does. And the talent of your creators was selling you product. But remember, Comicsgate's the hate group. And then let's finish, because this is, I know this is a long one, ladies, today, but let's finish on, Jesus Christ, possibly one of the most disgraceful people in the industry. This woman who's been quiet, and then she said, okay, this is one of the last things I want to do, but I feel like I have to kind of update the situation with Dynamite, as it's still a topic of a lot of discussion. Yesterday, I did finally have a bit of discussion with Nick, as I said before, and found the whole thing bewildering. So, Gail goes on to say how much she'd worked with Dynamite. I don't think she'd done much work recently at all. And let's just be honest, Gail's nothing to write home about. Used to be like an okay writer back in the noughties. Okay, fine. Wouldn't say great, wouldn't say bad. Was fine, did fine work. Nowadays, does dog shit work. Because they don't give a toss. They don't care. Because they know that they'll be gifted work because of who they are. And the control and power that they have over the industry. So why would they care about their craft? It's just a payday. And she talks about how Nick, she almost thought of him as family. He was there for her in a time of need. But no, she's done. She's done with him. And she's going to throw him under the bus. Just like the others. And never work with Diamond again. Because that's the kind of person Gail is. Only the comics industry could make these sort of apologies. Tom King, I'm sorry for nearly destroying a colleague's career and then taking to Twitter afterwards to mock his dead family pet. Oopsies, I'll do better next time. Or Nick, who's been doing and known EVS for decades, doing business with him, making money with him, but as soon as the hate group starts shouting at him, bends the knee and now goes fully on his belly, trying to appease people who will not purchase or have anything to do with his product anyway. And then Gail, who wants to wash her hands with somebody that she considered to be family. Why? Because they wanted to make money for their business. Because the comics industry is crumbling around them. Particularly after COVID. Couldn't happen to a nicer industry. But remember, folks, it's Comicsgate that's the hate group. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links, they're in the description box down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.